And welcome to RTF Sports Talk. I am Mako Buckcaster. I am the host of today's show. I am trying a little bit of different. I'm finally back in the RTF production studio, wading through the water, and it turned out we had some water damage. So, push comes to shove, we're getting the show on, and just notice how the studio looks right now. We're going to get a little things different, a little bit of some new backgrounds, some making it more to like a man cave type of feel. With all that being said, guys, welcome to today's podcast. We got a great show for you guys. But before we get to any of that, if you're listening to us on YouTube Live, be sure to go ahead and comment below. Let us know that you are in there. Give us a like, give us a comment, and I'm going to interact with you as I can throughout the show. If you're listening to us on podcast form, that is on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast, Amazon, Cashbox, Stitcher, Breaker, TuneIn, etc. Wherever you're getting your podcast, be sure to follow this podcast as well. We at RTF Sports Talk try to get it done every Monday through Friday. Sometimes life happens, we get that, but you know, we try to upload 5 times a week. With all that being said, if you guys missed Super Tuesday last night in the college basketball world, you missed out on some great games. My Kansas State Wildcats pulled up a, quote, upset win versus Texas on the road. It is very tough to win in any conference game, but Big 12 seems to be a little bit more harder than the rest for some crazy reason. I'm not for sure why if that's even true, but we were a 2.5-point underdog. We ended up pulling it out, winning, believe it was 74-69. I'm also a Kentucky fan. We lost. The Kentucky Wildcats lost on a buzzer beater tip-in. That should have been a goaltending, but at the end, long story short, LSU beat us 73-71. But the game of the night, we're going to get started with here. I got my notes down. The game of the night has got to be Duke versus Louisville. You heard right. Duke versus Louisville. Well, let's get started here. Louisville has had a pretty good season, to be honest here. They beat North Carolina. They beat Michigan State. They beat Seton Hall, a team that beat Kentucky. Not for sure how good Seton Hall really is. At that point in time, Kentucky was still kind of coming into their own a tad bit. So, but let's get into it. To start this game off, Louisville was playing lights out. They could not miss a shot. Duke could not hit a shot. Zion Williams had 4 fouls. Duke was losing by 23 points, guys. 23 points. What? 23 points. Duke was down with, I believe it was 9 minutes left in the game. And then Duke became the Duke Blue Devils that we've come to love and enjoy throughout this season. They made a 35-10 run to finish out the game. And did you guys hear that? 35-10 run in the final 9 minutes of the game. Louisville could not hit a broadside out of the barn. And I was on the old interwebs there. On the Twitter machine, if you're not following me on Twitter at mbuck41, you should be. I interact with that during the show as well. I got it pulled up on the computer right here as well as a chat. So I saw Louisville fans going crazy. Oh, big brother Louisville is going to take care of Duke for you, little brother Kentucky fans. Duke beat Kentucky by 30 points. So Louisville is going to beat Duke by 30 points. That's what big brothers do. Like they said. At one point, Louisville had a 99.7% chance of winning that game. The money lines were going crazy. All the loyal Duke fans were placing those bets on those money lines because, let's be honest, we all kind of knew that Duke was not going to lose by 23 points. There was no way, no how that was going to happen. So, with all that being said, Duke came back and won. Second half comeback ever under Coach K. Louisville did have a 23 3-point lead. But that's not what I want to get into. I want to get into of that crazy call with 14 seconds left in the game. So Cam Reddish drives the lane. Louisville is set, and they take a charge call. They call the charge, but whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Let's review that play. It turns out Louisville player had their heel of their foot on the arch line, so they turned it into a blocking foul, giving Duke 2 free throws, which I think they only hit one of them if I'm not mistaken. But either way, giving them the lead at 70-69. So the question that I'm going to get into here, since I am a Kentucky fan, why can the referees review that, but they cannot review a freaking goaltending call? Those are two calls that swing the game one way or the other. I feel if Kentucky would have went into overtime, they would have beat LSU easily. Maybe not easily. It would have been a dogfight like it was all game, but it would have been a 3 or 4 point win. If that charge call is made, does Louisville win that game? Tough saying. It was 14 seconds left. Let's say they get off or they don't get off a good shot. I think Duke wins in overtime. But if they get a good shot off, they win that game. So it is coming to my mind here is it's kind of like the pass interference call or the no pass interference call in the Saints-Rams game in the NFL. Why can we pick and choose what plays we want to review, but it just like if you are going to review plays, like especially basketball, if you can overturn a call like that charge call into a blocking call, that 100% change the outcome of the game. I do believe 100%. Louisville gets one last shot. They have 14 seconds left to get an open look and game-winning shot. Okay, so maybe they don't hit it. Duke wins in overtime. No blood, no foul. But what if Louisville did win? It'd be the biggest upset. Well, maybe not the biggest upset because I think Louisville is ranked 15th here. But nonetheless, Duke wins that game because of a flipping of a call. UK lost because of a non-flipping of a correct call. Say what you want. Okay, so watching that UK game live, I definitely thought it was a good no call. The ball did appear to be coming off of the rim, but if you look at the shot above the rim, the ball is still half in the cylinder, half not when the ball is tipped. Classified goaltending. Nonetheless, congratulations to the Duke Blue Devils from coming back from 23 down to Louisville. Getting the second largest comeback, second half win ever in Coach K in history. Very, very good for them. My takeaway from this game, Duke is definitely a championship caliber team. Zion got into 4 fouls. He got into foul trouble. But they still found a way to win. And Zion was in at the end of the game when it mattered the most, I guess you can say. But that's here or there. That topic's done. Get that out of here. So, let's stick to the hardwood. LeBron James last night got his 78th triple-double, tying him 5th all-time with Wilt Chamberlain in that triple-double category. So, my question to the viewers today, we will have a poll up here on the YouTubes if you guys are watching us on YouTube Live. Do you think Russell Wilson gets more triple-doubles than LeBron James does? Answer to that question in my book is yes. Look what he is doing. I believe, was it last year, he he finished the season averaging a triple-double. Crazy, 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 crazy. It's just it literally blows my mind what Russell Westbrook is doing in OKC. So I'm not for sure how many he has. I should have looked that up. But I think last year alone he had 30 plus. So this year he's doing much of the same. So if he has one more year of doing this, think about what he can ultimately do. He could probably end up in first place if this up. But big shout out to LeBron James, 78th triple double last night in a losing effort. I believe they were playing the Hawks, but tied fifth with Wilt Chamberlain to get that. Moving on to the next topic here. Staying in the professional hardwood floor here in the association. Philadelphia 76ers versus Boston Celtics last night. Boston Celtics, no Kyrie last night, sprained knee. He is listed as day-to-day, but, you know, that injury might be a little bit more nagging since he doesn't want to be in Boston anymore. 76ers, we talked about this yesterday. Are they the team to beat in the East now? They were 2-0 after the deadline. Now they are 2-1. That loss last night to the Boston Celtics hurts. Joel Embiid, after the game, calling out the refs, saying that they suck. There's a hefty fine coming his way for that, whether you want to admit it or not. He's definitely getting fined 20, 30, 40,000. Who knows? I believe he said like 6 words and walked out of the press conference. So he has he's got a fine coming for calling out the refs, and then a fine for not fulfilling his obligation at the podium at the press conference. Nonetheless, Billy Hatton, my co-host at Grand Hefe, that's his Twitter handle is in the link description below, so be sure to shout him out. He said that the 76ers are the team to beat in the East. But, Billy, Mr. Hefe, Mr. Grand Hefe, Mr. Hatton, a.k.a. It's Always Sunny in El Paso, Texas, the 76ers are not that good. They are not that good. Versus the teams that matter in the East as quoted, because I do think the Pacers are a team to be reckoned with in the East, but they are not in this classification as of right now. I did some math last night. Versus the Celtics, Raptors, and Bucks, the 76ers are 1-7 against them. 1-7. How are they the team to beat in the East if they are 1-7 against those teams? Yes, they've only played Boston since the deadline, since their big three has gotten together, or their big four, or whatever you want to call it. But they're not that good, guys. They are not that good. Philadelphia Sixers, get out of here. You are losing in the second round still. Michael Buckheister says that, and this is just for clicks, /RTS Sports Talk, / it doesn't matter. 76ers still suck. Moving on. I'm missing my sound effects, so maybe tomorrow we'll get the sound effects back in here, so we can transition a little better here. But let's move over to the old turf machine, the old National Flag Football League, the old nobody wants to play in Pittsburgh anymore. Antonio Brown has officially come out and said no more sugarcoating it, no more, kind of beating around the bush, sending encrypted messages. He flat out said, I do not want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler anymore. With that being said, a good friend of mine, long time, we've been playing football together since like 4th grade, 5th grade, Michael Wilhoit, tweeted out, Antonio Brown, you should have listened to Le'Veon Bell when he left. What is going on in Pittsburgh Steelers land? Nobody really knows. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. I believe it is the head coach. The head coach is the common denominator, I think, in both of these players leaving. Yes, big egos means big paychecks, means, big problems. I guess Terrell Owens prime example, but usually winning cures all. And Steelers weren't that bad last year. What they were, what 8-8, 9-7. I'm not for sure. I'm really not for sure. I should have looked. Excuse me, I got a little hoarse throat still. You know what I'm saying? But with all that being said, Antonio Brown wants out of Pittsburgh. So the question is going to arise: what does Pittsburgh want for Antonio Brown? And I think the obvious choice is they want a first-round pick. Just look at some career stats for Antonio Brown. He has over 11,000 yards in his career, 74 touchdowns. Last year alone, he had 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns as well. But this will be his 10th year in the league. The Steelers do have a number one option still. They have Juju Smith-Schuster. Just last year, he led the team in receiving, 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns. In his couple-year career, I believe it's 2 years, 2,400 yards, 14 touchdowns. So he's averaging 7 touchdowns a year. Antonio Brown is owed $12.6 million at the start of next year. The 2020 season, he's owed $11.3 million. And the 2021 season, he is owed $12.5 million. So what does this mean for Antonio Brown and the Pittsburgh Steelers? I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to move him as soon as they can. It is going to be a Alex Smith and Washington Redskins type of thing where, yes, the league season doesn't start till March 13th, exactly 1 month from today. But they are going to get with the team in principle, this is what we're going to do at the start of the league year. So with that being said, what are they going to do in the draft? They're going to draft a wide receiver in the draft. You have DK Metcalf from Ole Miss. I believe he is the number 1 ranked overall receiver. You have Brown from Oklahoma. He is the number 2. This is per Todd Mache. I do believe. I don't do my own rankings by any means. I have no time in the world to do that. But then you got to think, what teams want to work with Pittsburgh? You know what? How about the Oakland Raiders? They need a big-time receiver. They have a young quarterback. They have 3 or 4 first-round picks. But let's say that happens. Let's say Oakland gives Pittsburgh their 24th overall pick. Okay? So Pittsburgh has 2 picks now. Okay? So they are already picking 20th in the draft. So you're picking 20th and 24th. You have an aging quarterback. You have a need for wide receiver. So this is what you do. Listen. You draft Daniel Jones from Duke. And then you dash Brown from OU. So you lose a Brown, you gain a Brown. It's a win-win situation. Brown from Oklahoma looks really freaking nice, guys. So you draft him at the 20th pick. As of right now, he is projected 19th overall. But you know how dominoes start to fall. I really think he will start to fall down to that 20th spot. And then in the 24th pick, you get that quarterback. You prime that Jones from Duke guy. I believe it's Daniel Jones is his name. You prime him. You let him sit behind Big Ben for a year, maybe even 2 years. You have the Aaron Rodgers effect going on. You let him learn. You let him know how. You let him see the winning culture in the locker room. You let him learn from Big Ben, not touching little girls, Big Ben, but the professional Big Ben. If you guys don't know that reference, flashback to like 2003, 2004. Big Ben was caught in a bar hitting on like 16-year-old girls or something crazy like that. But nonetheless, I think you're going to see Antonio Brown go to the West Coast. I don't see the 49ers giving up a second overall pick for him. Looking at the drafts, the top 10 picks, I don't really see that happening because most of those teams need defensive help. They don't really need offensive help. They don't need that explosive wide receiver. But with all that being said, I see Antonio Brown going to Oakland. Let's say he does get a number 1 overall pick, or a number 1 pick in the draft. Oakland has 4 of them. Give him that 24th pick. Give him the the last of. I believe they even have one after that, something at 30. I should have looked at all the Raiders picks, but that 24th one really perked my interest, because that is where that quarterback Daniel Jones was projected to go, the 24, 25, 26 overall pick. So it would fall right in line what the experts are thinking. So Antonio Brown, pack your bags, you're heading west. Per Just for Clicks and RTF Sports Talk, Michael Buckcaster says so. Whoa. So guys, if you are new to Just for Clicks, at the end of each show, I like to make sports bets pick 'em. Since we are on the RTF Sports Talk page, I want you guys to join in this conversation. So go ahead and tweet at me and let me know who your picks are. Usually we do the NBA and men's basketball, since football is not in season. Once baseball season starts, we'll pick some baseball games as well. Baseball games are a little harder to pick, but let's start with the association. Tonight you have the Milwaukee Bucks, 3.5-point favorite, taking on the Indiana Pacers. This will be my quote-unquote upset special. If you guys listen to me at all, I am a firm believer that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the home team in the association wins. Road teams just don't play good in the middle of the week. I don't know why. That is just what I know. So I'm picking the Pacers to win this. Obviously, they cover the spread because they're picked to lose. But look for Thaddeus Young to have a great game. Oh, wow. I am coughing up a storm today, guys. I definitely apologize about that. But I'm picking the Indiana Pacers to win tonight. Thaddeus Young has a great game. This will be a very good game to watch. I believe the Bucks might be top seed in the East. Pacers are number 2. So moving on, you have the Sacramento Kings versus the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets are 8-point favorites. I've been on this King train all year, guys. I like what De'Aaron Fox is doing over there. I like how the Kings, I believe they're in the 8th seed as of right now. If playoff seeds were to hold true, they would face Golden State in the first round, and they would end the longest playoff drought in the NBA. But they don't get it done tonight. This is my lock pick. Give me the Denver Nuggets over the Sacramento Kings, and they cover the spread. So definitely look up for that. Moving on to the last game of the association that we're going to pick. Washington Wizards versus the Raptors. Raptors are 11-point favorites tonight. And this is my covering special of the day. Raptors win the game, but the Washington Wizards cover the spread. So that means Raptors win, but they don't win by 11. They win by 10.5 or less. Ding, 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 ding. Mark that bet. Mark that bet. Mark that bet. Moving over to the Amateur Association, where they get paid more, minus the taxes, and never get caught, except for if Louisville. But we're going to start in the SEC. Tonight you have South Carolina versus Tennessee. Number 1, Tennessee. This is my lock pick for tonight. I'm picking Tennessee. I just don't think South Carolina has it. Tennessee at home, very, very tough. They haven't lost at home all year, and they continue that streak. Moving over to the Big 12, you have Texas Tech taking on Oklahoma State. This is my upset pick for the Amateur Association. I'm taking Texas Tech. Yes, they are ranked higher, but Oklahoma State is favored at home for some reason. Crazy Vegas people. Texas Tech's a very good basketball team. Look out for them in March. I'm telling you guys, look out for them in March. Upset special, Texas Tech. Moving on to the final one here. This is the Wake Forest Demon Deacons taking on Florida State. I believe Florida State is ranked number 18th in the nation as of right now. This is my cover the spread pick for the day. Florida State wins. It is an 18-point spread. They don't beat Wake Forest by 18. Sorry, guys. Florida State wins, but Demon Deacons cover that amazing spread. So, no sound effects, but you guys catch the drift, and that just means we are at the end of the show. So, in closing for today, I like to give out a shout out to all my pitchers and catchers reporting to spring training today. The Kansas City Royals reported yesterday. A few other teams reported yesterday. But today, I believe it is over 90% of the teams have reported. Pitchers and catchers have reported to spring training. So that means the longest season in history is about to begin, guys. Spring training really doesn't tickle my pickle that much, but I do like opening day. I like, that April 1st, April 2nd, April 3rd, pretty much up till April 10th or 11th. Then it kind of gets dog days. Then once August, September start rolling around, get excited again about baseball. So, longest professional season on like 10 months. Pitchers and catchers report today officially for Major League Baseball. So that means spring is almost here, guys. So with that being said, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe us to us on the YouTube channel, RTF Sports Talk, RTF Productions, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, etc. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow that. Give us a ranking, 5 stars, all that good jazz. But guess what? We out. All right, guys, that is the podcast version of the show today. I'm going to jump on the old Twitter machine here and answer a couple questions that you guys might have. There's not a lot of viewers in here as of right now, and there's no chats going on. So, if guys, I watch the chat like all show. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my chat. So, but over here on the Twitter machines, the first one comes up is you guys are saying the 76ers are still the team to beat in the East. I don't think so. Daniel, one of my players from the high school team, 76ers are I don't think are that good. So, I mean, yes, I respect your opinion by like any means, but it's kind of what have you done for me lately. 76ers, they won the first 2 games out of the trade deadline, but they're not that good. Next tweet I have here at mbuck41 guys here. You can DM me, at me, do whatever you need to do. Russell Westbrook is a topic of choice, and you all think 3 or 4, 6 of you think Russell Westbrook will pass LeBron James in the triple-double category, and thank you. I believe Trent says here he did have 38 last season. I have no way to fact check that right now, but I will go with you. As far as Louisville fans, still apologize about that, guys. You guys literally had almost 100% chance of winning that game. All you had to do was have the the hookers do more job, and you would have had the win here. But living in the Louisville area, guys, do not bag your team. Like, you guys had the #1 team on the ropes. You beaten North Carolina, you beaten Michigan State team. Both of these teams could be #1, #2 seeds. So don't hang your heads. Don't bag your team like this. I mean, I've seen posts where, oh, fire Mac, we want Patino back. Like, why? Just, Mac is going to be great for you guys. As a Kentucky fan, I hope you guys get the death penalty, because I think Mac is going to do that good thing for you guys. But that's all we have on the Twitter machines here as of right now. Like I said, there's nothing in the chat. Guys, next time, go ahead and jump on the YouTube chat. Share us with a couple friends and all that good stuff. But see you guys tomorrow. We out.